at some point that feel like packing it all in, buying a one-way ticket to nowhere, and going for it, right?
Yeah, I felt that way a few times in my life.
Exactly. Well, our next guest did just that, and luckily for us, he chronicled the whole thing in his new book, Through Travel and Error. Matt Hamilton joins us. Matt, it's wonderful to have you on the show. Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here. Thanks.
Well, as we understand it, you started on this trip. Yep. And it turns out 10 years later, you're still traveling.
Yeah, I haven't touched South America yet, so I haven't gone quite around the world yet.
So you've got places to go yet.
Many
Unbelievable.
places to see.
Well, take us back sort of 10 years ago when you started traveling. What started you on this journey? What happened?
I was unhappy. I was, you know, I'd gone through university and fell right into the rat race, and 2 years had disappeared, and something wasn't right, and I decided to go away. So I quit my job, sold everything I owned, and bought a one-way ticket to Scotland and took off. And my plan was to go around the world without a timeline, without an itinerary. If I liked the spot, I'd stay. If I didn't, I'd move on.
Had you wanted to do this, like when you were younger? Is this something that had crossed your mind? Or was it literally something that just all of a sudden you decided, this is what I'm going to do?
Basically, that was the way it went. I think it had been tickling in the back of my head the way it tickles most people. You know, they think about it, but there are so many other commitments and responsibilities. I just was really unhappy, and that was the only choice I had. So as I say, it fell onto the lap, and it just made a lot of sense. And
so how did you choose, Matt, that first destination?
Scotland. My roots are Scottish and Irish.
Okay.
I wanted to start in a city that spoke English.
Right.
And I don't know if you've ever been to Glasgow, but the Glaswegian accent is thick. To be honest with you, I almost didn't get out of the airport. Yeah. I didn't know where I was staying. I had a one-way ticket to Glasgow. No guidebooks, no hotel reservations. So standing in the airport, I asked this guy, excuse me, do you know how to get into the city center? And he was very friendly. He told me, but I didn't understand. And I asked him 3 times, and the 3rd time I gave him the nod and went and sat down, but I thought, what am I doing? Well, I can't get out of an airport in Scotland. What am I going to do in Germany or Spain or anywhere else? And
now, when you left, did you have the idea that you were going to write a book and chronicle your journey?
I was running out of career options, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I did the suit and tie job, but it really, the rat race wasn't for me. It's for some, but it just didn't keep me happy. And the jobs I had in the road were great, but they weren't going to pay the bills later on down in life. And I liked writing. I did it as a hobby, and I got into, you know, when I wrote my group emails, I would spend some time composing them, make a bit of an effort. And I got overwhelming feedback from people reading it.
Is this, you mean, along the way, like when you would write home? Is that what you're saying?
Write home, write people I'd met. I mean, people I'd met were printing them out and bringing it home to their roommates to read, people who hadn't even met me. And those roommates were asking for the next installment. So eventually I said, well, yeah, I've got some interesting tales to pass on. Why not write a book? I mean, I was living on beaches and had loads of time to kill, and yeah, started writing. And
can you share one of those interesting tales with us?
Well, for sure. I mean, the subtitle of the book is called Confessions of an Asylum-Seeking Canadian. And when I fell in love with Southern Africa. I got there, and my plan was to be there for 3 weeks and stayed for 4.5 years.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. No, I just fell in love. And I mean, one of the problems when you stay that long is you have to extend your visas. And I was a couple weeks over my holiday visa, but I figured no problem. I'll go in and give them a nice story and tell them I was sick and my car was stuck in mud. And the immigration officer said, well, yeah, but you're still over your visa. We're going to have to make you a prohibited person. And I said, well, okay, what does that mean? So we're going to take your details, and we'll take your mugshot. We'll give you another 3 weeks to leave the country. And if you do, no problem. But if you don't, alarms will go off, and we'll come in, arrest you, and deport you.
Whoa!
And I said, well, that's no problem. So they take my mugshot, and he fills out this form, and would you please sign it? So I take a quick glance, as you're supposed to, and Matt Hamilton, citizenship Canadian. Reason for extension, seeking political asylum in the Republic of South Africa.
Really?
Really. Whoa. And I just, I kind of laughed, and I said, that's, people come to us for political asylum. And he's like, well, I believe you about being sick, but we need something more official. So I said, okay. And so I signed it. So technically, I was granted political asylum in the Republic of South Africa, which, according to Amnesty International, is a Canadian first. So,
is that right?
So yeah, so I mean that's kind of. I mean, those are kind
you're
of
a pioneer in your own right.
I'm a pioneer, yeah. I mean, and in some of the other tales, I was in a bus accident in the middle of Malawi, and as I got off to help the people that were hurt on the other vehicle, the bus that I was on drove away with my backpack and passport and all my money and left me stranded in the middle of the night. I mean, that's the type of tales that I'll tell. I worked for gangsters in the Canary Islands for a little while. I met a guy that had been abducted by aliens. Just, you know, just different,
well, Matt,
different
you've
tales.
certainly intrigued our viewers by all the different things you've been through. Just quickly, where can people get the book?
Well, it's available online right now. You go to Amazon, Chapters, any of the major sites. But it's going to be sold at Chapters retail locations starting June 30th.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Well, thanks a lot for coming.
Oh, thank you.
With us.
On the book,
Congratulations.
Thank you very, very much.
You have to come back when you travel your next 10 years and write the next one, all right? We'll be right back after this. We're doing a little yoga when we return. Okay.